Not quite as fun when Abdul Carter and KJ Winston aren't participating in the combine.
Did you make that?
Yes, I
Did you
did.
make that edit, T. Frank? I got to give you a quick round of applause. Sorry, I can appreciate that because I've had bad editing, and that was really, really good. So, okay, continue.
It came out this week, not a surprise. Abdul Carter playing through a shoulder injury in the playoff, not participating in the combine. KJ Winston during the playoff, Adam Schefter tweeted via an agent, most likely, that he was going to be cleared March 1st for activities, on-field activities, putting his timeline for the pro day, not for the NFL combine, which leaves Tyler Warren, Jaylen Reed, and Kobe King. 3 players at the NFL combine. Penn State doesn't always blow up the combine, but when they do, they blow up the combine. And the reason the intro was that way is because you're not getting that this year. This feels like one of the least anticipated combines from Penn State for people who observe. No combine is anticipated for some people. But how are you viewing all of this stuff? Because I know you've been doing draft work on these guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think first off with Abdul, I think everybody wanted to see like what his 40 was, and I think we may see that at Pro Day. Who knows? But I was excited to kind of just see his raw athleticism on tape, and when you see those cut ups from combine, and it just would put together like Abdul's 5.10.5 next, and then his 40, and then his broad jump, and just kind of see it all in one video. I was looking forward to that. But at the same time, I think as many people said, and his agent, the team saw everything they needed to see. The fact that that dude played with one arm in the semifinal game.
Dominated.
And it should have had 2 sacks. He had 1 taken away from a Zane Durant hands to the face. But, I mean, I don't think we need to see anything else. Obviously, with KJ, actually saw someone tweeting about that today, how someone's going to get a steal with KJ Winston. I think we know that. I'm sure he's going to – Like, please, my Steelers, come on. Like, I want to tell everybody he's so good. Just, I promise you, take a chance on him. But I don't think KJ was necessarily someone that would have knocked. I mean, he wouldn't have had insane numbers, but definitely would have had good numbers. I mean, he was always pretty fast. One of the guys normally in the front of the pack whenever we were doing any type of running or anything like that. But I think the person that could propel themselves is Tyler Warren. And it's funny to say because he is a lock to go in the first round. Yeah. But I think if we see a sub, I don't know what I want to say, probably a sub 4.7, if he's in the 4, like he could
4.65 would be the number I think is a really good number.
That I think if he has something that comes away that people would label as an impressive combine, and I think he will have it. I mean, I remember we would do the testing twice a year, and we were always kind of together. I mean, he has a really good broad jump, really good vertical. I think he needs to be around, like, I think 4 tight ends last year jumped 36, I think it was, on the vertical, 36 or 37. So if he can be right around there on the vertical and then run that, like you said, about 4.65, I think he could easily sneak his way close to like top 10-ish because that's everybody wants to have that tight end now. Like everybody wants to have that versatile guy. And you turn on the tape, T. Frank, and you can also check this out. I'm dropping a Tyler Warren film breakdown Friday morning before the combine. The tight ends and I want to say DBs, I think, are on Friday. But I'm dropping tape, and the first thing I put in his tape was his blocking because I think that's what separates him the most from everybody else. So I'm really excited to see kind of what he can showcase there. And then Jaylen Reed is someone that he consistently, Jay Reed, I love him. He'd be fine if I shared this. Consistently like sends me DMs of other things, of other people. And he's like, look at this. They're doubting me. He's like, I love it. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, Jay Reed, because we're good friends. Obviously, we came in the same class. And I'm like, dude, you got it. Just go do your thing. And I think that's another guy.
He has the most to gain, I would imagine, in terms of testing, because I think everyone, when you watch the film, you go, this guy can play football. He's really good around the line of scrimmage. Blitzing was, I would say, like Tig Brown and he are in kind of a different category from a secondary player ability to blitz. But then the question becomes like 40 time. What are the situations you can put him in the NFL where he'll be able to hold up? And that does have to do with change of direction, pure speed, things like that. Do you agree, or do you think Warren or Kobe King has more to gain in that sense?
Oh, I would say, I mean, Kobe's up there because Kobe's 40 is going to mean so much because I think that's a huge question with the fact of, his coverage skills obviously took a hit. I remember sitting there. I think you probably did the same when we saw Notre Dame's running back Aeneas Williams get motioned to the top of the screen and Kobe followed him. I'm screaming, and my girlfriend's like, the play hasn't started yet. And I'm like, no, double move and right down the sideline against Notre Dame. So Kobe King could be up there. I would probably give the nod to him because it's like if Kobe has a bad 40, like he could go a lot lower in the draft. But if he runs, I don't even know what a good 40. I'm trying to think for like a middle linebacker. But if he does whatever they classify as good enough, I think you can look and say, okay, we can work with this guy. He is an elite run stuffer. We can figure out kind of, on passing downs, maybe he's not on the field as much. But I think a bad or a good 40 time could swing Kobe King really far one way or the other.
We got this in the chat. This is from Chris the Ripper. 22. He says, Tyler Warren not doing drills at the combine. Just a quick Twitter search because we're here live. Jordan Schultz reporting that Tyler Warren not working out the NFL combine, just doing interviews. And I think this, Landon, kind of speaks to some of the conversation we're having about Tyler, which is his draft stock is pretty high. Why do anything that could jeopardize it? Why potentially run a bad 40 or do a 3-cone drill that doesn't show great change of direction skill when I know there is some questions about that? You watch the film and Tyler Warren, you mentioned his vertical leap, contested catch, no questions about those areas. But when you talk about vertical separation, straight line speed, ability to generate space on his own, those were questions. And I don't think that it's anything that should prevent him from being a guy that is, because he can go down the field and contested catch, jump over a guy and get a ball. He's a red zone target, the run blocking. The composite of what Tyler Warren is a first-round draft pick at his position. It's just don't give anybody any doubt, I would imagine, in terms of not wanting to work out at the combine. Because I know he's been training. It's not like he hasn't been training for the combine this offseason.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like I said, I think a good 40 could have propelled him a little bit, but as you said, the risk reward, that's kind of what you are weighing there. And clearly his agent and him decided, okay, it's really not worth it. I don't think, unless you were to somehow run like a sub 4.6, then it would be like, oh my God, we have to get him in the top 10. But outside of that, are you really doing anything? If you go out there and run a 4.72, that doesn't really do anything. You're risking injury. Maybe you pull a hammy, something like that, and then you can't do any of the drills anyways. I think it makes more and more sense not to. I feel like we're seeing more and more opt-outs than we ever have before. Honestly, it's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, but if you can make money, then you run the 40. I remember Devin Bush running the 40 and running a 4.5, and then shutting it down because that made him sorry. I know.
As a Steelers fan, yes, he made a lot. He was even good his rookie year, and then it just some of the worst linebacking play I've seen in a long time after that.
To your point about Kobe King, this is the part where I think, I always had a hard time during the Tyler Elsdon Kobe King battles and everyone wanting Kobe King to start immediately and everyone saying Tyler Elsdon is so slow. They are closer athletically, from a pure speed perspective that I think a lot of fans want to accept. And that's, again, Kobe has a lot of other things going for him. Length, size, I would say fluidity. Speed is not just a linear thing. It's in football, you have to run in every direction, 4 separate directions. And so those are all qualities that I think Kobe can do those things. The 10-yard split, I think, is the most interesting thing because if he's going to be a box thumper and he's going to be a guy that is, coming downhill and attacking the run, that first 10 yards is more important than the full 40. Do you think he can put up a number there that is, maybe he doesn't get into the 4.5s, which I would highly doubt, but like, does he run something that's, a one, I want to say like a 1.6 is a good 10-yard split. You think that there's something he can do there?
Yeah, I definitely think there is the possibility. I just looked it up. So the average 40-yard dash for linebackers at the NFL Combine is 4.71 seconds right now.
Are we considering edge rushers? Because I hate that. The NFL still does outside linebacker as a linebacker, and that's dumb.
Yes, I believe they are also including them. That's kind of what it seems here. Yeah. So Well, over here it says outside linebacker 4.6 is the average. So I think this might be. I think this is all linebackers. I'm not exactly sure, but it sounds like if he can be in that realm, as long as we don't see like a 4.8, like that would start to be like, ooh, oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's going to be very important for him. I think, like I said, could really swing him one way or the other. But as you said, I think a lot of people don't realize how important and how much emphasis is put on that 10-yard split, especially for, like you said, a box linebacker, an offensive lineman. Like, there are certain things as a GM that I'm really looking at that 10-yard split for specific positions. And that, like you said, if Kobe it's what he's going to play, is going to be a thumper in the box. Well, that's what I wanted to see. Can he move quickly? I think his 5.10.5 will be really big. How, that change of direction, that's pretty much the number one thing. We know Kobe King is a fantastic block shedder. We're seeing videos of him throwing offensive linemen out of the club. Well, now, are you able to change direction when I'm trying to think who's a really good running back? There's a lot of them in the league. So when one of those really, really fast guys changes direction and hopefully is not, jumping over top of you or anything like that. That was a rough one for Kobe. I asked him about that. He was like, man, he said, I went to make the tackle. He just wasn't there anymore. We're talking obviously about when was that was Love, Jeremiah Love, right? Jumped over top.
Yeah.
Rough one there.
So now we're down to just Jaylen Reed and Kobe King working out this week.
Wow.